Nicolo Zaniolo has been highly praised by his coach Paulo Fonseca, says he can actually be the best player in Serie A. Can the 20-year-old be that good, do you think?
Oh, yeah, certainly. He's got the talent for it. There's no doubt about that. We saw that last season already, where it was a breakthrough season for him and showcasing already a lot of his talent. And I think Paulo Fonseca has really helped him, like the rest of the Roma squad, really, to go a step higher in his progression individually as well as collectively. On the right-hand side of that 4-2-3-1 formation, he's really been shining a lot. He's got already 4 goals in Serie A, which is as many as in the whole of last season, for example. And we saw on the little clip that we showed earlier that sweet left foot that he has, and playing on that right-hand side enables him to come inside on his left foot. He's the 4th player who creates the most chances in Serie A this season already, for example, behind the likes of Luis Alberto and those kind of players. I think he's created 7, although he only has 1 assist so far. But he's that kind of creative player who I think clearly has a great future ahead of him, and part of this very young generation, that's the word I was looking for, generation of young Italian players like Sandro Tonali, for example, who are coming through and shows that Italy as a national team as well has a great future ahead of it.
Yeah, well, Jules, he's a big part of the reason Roma have made an impressive start to the season. Very much in the picture when you look at the Serie A top 4. Roma and Lazio separated by a point. Inter and Juve locked together at the top of the table. Can Roma, guys, keep this up heading into the start of the next portion of the season?
I don't see why not. You know, it's an amazing... Confidence is an amazing thing. Because when you're confident, you're stepping on the field and you're just playing. You know, when you're not quite at your best, you're overthinking. You're not just thinking about your own game, you're thinking about the whole team and everybody else. But when you're confident, and it looks like every single player on that field's confident, they're just going out and playing. They're passing the ball, running around, creating chances, scoring goals. Right now, it's fun for them.
Yeah. And I think they'll be looking, for that Champions League spot. Yeah. I'm not quite sure they're going to be able to catch up with Juventus or Inter, and that'll be the battle for the championship. Now, look, if Roma can continue on that confidence streak and the other two maybe drop a little bit, I think the other problem, too, is when you're battling against your biggest rival in Lazio as well. How much energy is used from those two kind of fighting each other as opposed to looking above them and saying, hey, if we get a couple results here, maybe Juve drops some points and Inter drops some points. We don't have to worry about getting ahead of Lazio. We can actually think about winning the title. I think that might be just a little bit too far of a stretch.
Yeah. Well, Julien, what about Lazio? Because they're unbeaten since the end of September. They've actually scored at least 2 goals in 11 consecutive Serie A games. They're the first team, unbelievably, to do that since the 1948 Grande Torino team. Are they for real?
I think they are for real. We saw that, for example, in the 2 games they played against Juventus this season, both in the league and in the Italian Super Cup, where they both won, and in quite a strong fashion as well. And I think Simone Inzaghi is doing a great job there. The squad hasn't changed much in the last 2 or 3 years, for example. Especially going forward, when you look at Ciro Immobile and his goal scoring record in the last 2 seasons, and Luis Alberto, for example, which is the most creative player in Serie A right now, plus people like Milinkovic-Savic, for example, it tells you how much they have going forward. And then even defensively, they've been quite strong, although they've been scoring for fun. So they're certainly to be taken very, very seriously by Inter and Juventus. And also the fact that they won't have any European games to play anymore, that's also very interesting for them going forward, unlike what Inter and Juventus will have to play for sure.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPNFC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.